Hi Gemini, welcome to your reading. If you're new to the channel, I do timeless readings, which means that whenever you find this video is when you're meant to hear the messages within it. And in case you subscribe, I upload my new videos for Gemini and Sagittarius on Wednesdays. Also, for you, you guys that are interested in the deck that I'm using today, it's called the Robin Wood Tarot. And as always, if you guys are interested in getting a personal reading, the link is in the description box. Just as a heads up, I'm just going to take that card because it flipped over. I'm going to go ahead and take these two cards. But the goal here is to get roughly 8 cards, and then we can get started on your reading with the overall energy. And just as a final heads up, sometimes the cards like to flip over in the deck. I see them, however, I usually don't take them unless they jump out like these ones have. And usually if the group is too big, then I'll put them back. So we have a lot of cards that are flipping over in the deck, but not a whole lot of cards that sort of fell out like these ones did. So I'm guessing that you guys right now are in a very sort of chaotic point in your life. And I do get the sense that things are going to clear up. Things are going to start to sort of get a little bit more organized and make a little bit more sense, I feel, especially with this Magician. However, I do want to take a quick moment to remind you guys that if you enjoy the reading, please leave a like or a comment. But your Magician energy, or rather your overall energy, I should say, is that of the Magician. Now, the Magician is a very powerful card to have. And a lot of times, especially when I see the Magician in the upright, I feel like it's time to manifest. It's time to make things come true, right? Because the Magician is the master of all 4 elements, right? So he has dominion over the cups, the pentacles, the swords, and the wands. And by using all 4 of those elements, he's able to conjure things and make things come to life. I think that right now you guys are in a very powerful mental state, especially since you have the Magician and the High Priestess. Those are 2 very powerfully psychic cards, so I feel like now is a great time if you guys are working towards any kind of goal whatsoever. I do want to point out that even though the Magician isn't in reverse, I'm getting reverse kind of energy from the Magician, right? So I feel like while you might be in this manifesting power, this manifesting energy, there are or have been people around you that haven't been entirely honest and have been trying to portray themselves as the Magician when in reality they weren't anything close to that. So the Magician in reverse, what they'll do is they'll use smoke and mirrors instead of actual magic, instead of actual manifestation. So I feel like somebody is very sort of gaslighty, very lying kind of an energy. And I feel like, especially here with the High Priestess, you've really sort of understood what their MO is and are now at a point where you can work around it and just aren't dealing with it anymore. But moving on to your reading proper, we have here the 4 of Swords in reverse. Now, the 4 of Swords to me is a card of rest. It's a card of relaxation, and it's a card of just taking time and sort of taking a step back from the situation a lot of the times. So the fact that it's in reverse leads me to believe that now is a time to hustle, especially since you have the 8 of Pentacles here. The 8 of Pentacles talks about working towards something, right? A lot of times it can be skills. So as you can see, like in the depiction here, maybe it'll be a little bit easier to see now, but you have this boy that's working towards building a pentacle. And a lot of times that can be mastery of a skill. So I feel like a lot of you guys are going back to work, are going back to school, are doing something to get out of this Four of Swords energy. In the past, you were in a period in your time where it was time to rest. Now it's time to strike. And it's time to strike while the iron is hot. Like with the sword, with the symbolism of the sword here and here, the iron is very hot and it's time to strike. Now, in relation to love, I see this very interesting sort of 4-card duo here, or whatever. 4-card group here. We have the Star, the Three of Cups, the Knight, and the Knight of Cups, and the Knight of Swords, right? Now, it's very interesting that this knight is going into this direction and this knight is going into this direction. And they're both sort of meeting here in the middle of the Three of Cups here. And right above the Three of Cups, we have the Star card. So I feel like there's someone in here who I believe is you, but it doesn't necessarily have to be you. There's someone in here who is trying to... or rather, someone in here who's very desirable. Someone in here who is sort of the object of affection of these two knights. We have the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Swords. So the Cups are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And the Swords are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So I feel like for some of you, you are the object of affection here, and you have a Knight of Swords and a Knight of Cups coming towards you. And for some of you, I feel that you are the Knight of Swords. However that may apply to you guys, I feel like you're in kind of a three-party situation. But I don't think that for a whole lot of you it's bad per se. I don't sense that there's like the sense of cheating or anything like that. I just feel like there's two people that really want to pursue some kind of a relationship with a third person, and who may possibly be an Aquarius here with the Star card, but for sure I'm getting that there's that energy of these two people coming towards someone. And I think that you're sort of being represented by this top row and like this Eight of Cups, or sorry, Eight of Wands. Eight of Pentacles. I feel like that's what you're doing to these people. Like they'll come up to you and they'll like try to communicate something to you, and then they sort of like flub up their words and can't quite say. I feel like you make these people, these knights, nervous, and that's why they're coming up as knights and not like kings or queens or whatever. It's more immature energy because they're not quite, I feel like, ready to deal with people like you. I feel like they see you as a very like elevated kind of a person. I don't see like the Empress or anything, but I see the Star, which to me feels stronger than the Queens, just because it feels like you are the wish for these two people. And like I said earlier, for some of you guys, you might beat the Knight of Wands, sorry, the Knight of Swords, and then there's the Star card, which may possibly be an Aquarius for some of you. But if the signs don't resonate, then that's not that big of a deal. But if they do, just take it as extra resonation, or sorry, extra confirmation. I'm combining my words, and I feel like that's kind of what they do a lot too. It's like they're trying to communicate something to you, and they just can't. And they might be doing what I just did now, and they're just kind of like repeating themselves and going in circles, and you're kind of like chop chop, get to the point. But I feel like you, in your core, know what the point is, especially with this High Priestess. Basically, by the time they're on their way to get to the destination, you've already gotten to the destination and walked back, right? So what I mean by that is that you are like 2 steps ahead of them and you know what's going on. And I feel like in the end, you're trying to work towards this Page of Pentacles here. You want some kind of stability, but I don't feel like you're necessarily very, very, very close to entering a relationship. I feel like you're in the entering stage, initiating stage, I should say. So you're in the first couple development stages of the relationship, but I definitely feel that come a little bit more time, you're gonna be able to decide between these nights, I feel. That doesn't feel right for everyone, but definitely for some of you, that's the situation that you're in. But with this Three of Cups, I definitely feel like there's some kind of a celebration. So you might be meeting these people at like a party or some kind of a social gathering for a lot of you guys. You might be seeing these people together with you. But whatever it is that you want, you're going to get, because you have the Magician, and you have the Magician going into the High Priestess. So for a lot of you guys, I'm getting that 1-2 sort of energy. So you guys are going to see some progression. But that was your reading for this time around, Gemini. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like or a comment, because it really helps out the channel. And I personally really love to know if these readings resonate with you guys. But like I said before, I upload my new Gemini videos on Wednesdays. But in the meantime, you guys are more than welcome to watch any of my other timeless readings that I have up on the channel. And with that, I hope to see you guys next time for your next reading.